Welcome everybody to the first meeting that the U.S.-Mexico Chamber of Commerce is having in 2022. It is an honor for me to introduce Mike Gonzalez, Economic Development Manager of the City of Pasco, as our guest speaker, who will be talking about the many ongoing projects the City of Pasco is having, including retail, including the Tri-City potential for exports, and also including some of the construction that the largest Amazon retail industry is building there. So I will leave that to Mike to explain all of the things. But Mike comes from a long career of communicators. He worked for several news TV stations as an anchor, and he is an excellent communicator. I met Mike a couple of months ago, and we both sort of agree in having a meeting that will bring everybody to know the City of Pasco and the City of Pasco potential for exports into Mexico and Latin America. I would like to also take the time to welcome our guest, Dea Quiroz from the Mexican Consulate. She is a commercial attaché of the Mexican Consul in Seattle. Lupita Herrera, who is the Director of Desarrollo Económico de Morelia. Pedro Gomez, who is the Foreign Affairs of the City of Seattle. Andres Cuala from Veracruz State. And we probably have also Luvia Garcia from Tabasco joining the group in a little while. Again, it's an honor to introduce Mike Gonzalez, and I'll let Mike take it over from here. Thank you very much to everybody.
All right, Luis, thank you so much. And thank you for everybody that showed up this morning. I really appreciate it. I know everyone's busy. So I was so excited to connect with Luis. And when he reached out to me, I thought this could be a real great relationship, because the City of Pasco and Tri-Cities in general is really moving in the right direction. So I'm excited to share what opportunities there are for export, for ag. And this presentation, I really wanted to make it really robust and give you a broad overview of what's happening here in Pasco and the Tri-Cities in general. We're a vibrant region. We're one of the fastest growing regions in all of the Pacific Northwest. So hopefully you get a few nuggets out of this, and hopefully we can start to do business here. As Luis mentioned, Mike Gonzalez, my title is Economic Development Manager. Please keep my number handy. This is my personal cell phone, 509-850-4748. You can always email me. And as I told Luis, I'll be glad to send anybody a PDF of this presentation if you feel like it's going to be helpful. So I'll email Luis a copy of this presentation, then also you can reach out to me directly anytime. As Luis mentioned, I spent a long time in the media business. Started years ago in Little Columbia, Missouri, and worked my way up to Phoenix, Arizona, where I was a 4 p.m. news anchor. A few years ago, I was ready to get out of the news business and get into government affairs, and I wound up getting a job at Franklin PED as an energy executive. I was doing a lot of government affairs, public relations work there, and then I had developed a relationship over the years when I was a news director here in Tri-Cities with city officials, and they saw some of the things I was doing. I also got a real estate license that kind of coincided with coming to the city. So it all worked out nicely. And it's really been great to work here, just because you can really make an impact on so many fronts. So let's get going. And I'm excited to share this presentation with you. So the city of Pasco. So right now we're at 80,000 residents based on the last census. And when you think of growth, we're expecting 123 residents here by 2038. When you consider 10 or 15 years ago, we were right around 50,000 residents. So that's how quickly we're growing. You look at our population in the city of Pasco, about 60% of our residents are Hispanic or have ties to Mexico. In particular, about 40% of our residents, believe this or not, have a connection to Colima, Mexico. So we really have a great relationship with them as a sister city, and we hope to develop that relationship a little bit more economically. It really hasn't matured in the sense for any real import-export, but the people of Colima are certainly in our hearts here. So we hope to expand that because we feel like with our Hispanic population and the number of individuals that speak Spanish fluently, I think there's an incredible opportunity to create that connection with Mexico and Latin American countries. So that's something to think about, as we go through this presentation. So I want to tell you about Franklin and Benton counties. We're in southeastern Washington and just north of the Oregon border. Really close to Walla Walla, not too far from Idaho. So when you look at our proximity in the Pacific Northwest and where we are, I really call us a gateway city. You're close to Spokane, you're close to Pendleton, Oregon, you're just 3 hours away from Portland, you're about 3 hours away from Seattle, you're not too far away from the Canadian border. So when you look at us as an export hub and a producer of ag and a producer of technology, it's really incredible how close we are. So this is a look at the city. We're a beautiful river city. You see our beautiful white bridge there. That's really iconic. And the Columbia River runs right through the Tri-Cities, and people enjoy a lot of recreation. A lot of folks have boats. So it's really a really beautiful scene. It's really desert-like. We have 300 days of sunshine and really a beautiful climate when you think of it. It's funny, I often get calls from my friends or from people who want to do business here, and they say, man, it must always rain in the Tri-Cities. And I said, believe it or not, we are the desert of Washington, and we have 300 days of sunshine. So a lot of people can't believe that we actually get quite a bit of sunshine in the Tri-Cities. This is some population data I wanted to share. It's a little outdated. That the 2020 census will get you up to date, and I'll update these numbers right here. So the Tri-Cities, right now we're at 305,000 people. So we're over 300,000 people. When you consider the Tri-Cities, we're talking Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. And there's also West Richland, so it's really a quad city, but West Richland kind of grew out of Richland, and they formed their own municipality. But you can see some of these numbers. Benton County, the 2010 census, 175,000 people. 2020, it's a little bit over that 200,000 mark. You see Kennewick, Richland, and Franklin County. We're still right around 95,000 people. So really growing quickly. Franklin County is the fastest growing county in the state, and it has been for several years now. I want to show our top 15 employers. Battelle Pacific Northwest National Laboratory has 4,700 employees. Cadillac, which is a hospital, the school districts, Lamb Weston is a huge employer. What Lamb Weston does is they actually process potatoes and they export French fries all across the world. So Lamb Weston is a huge employer here in the Tri-Cities, and they've been a part of the footprint for many years. Washington River Protection Solutions, they're tied to Hanford, and Mission Alliance is something. That's what really stabilizes our economy, is we have Hanford, which I don't know if folks out there are familiar, but from World War II, when we created atomic bombs, this was a central focal point of the production of those atomic weapons. So there's some cleanup processes going out there and remediation. So that's been going on for years. And it looks like you don't want to say there's no end in sight, but it's going to go on for several more decades at least. So that really stabilizes the economy. It brings in a lot of technical companies, and it really provides a lot of high-paying jobs. So I want to share this video with everybody. And if for some reason you can't hear the audio, let me know. I do believe that I shared the audio, but this is going to give you a look at Pasco, the Tri-Cities, how quickly it's going. So it's about a 2-minute video. So hope you enjoy it.
Pasco is a vibrant city of nearly 80,000 people set along the shores of the beautiful Columbia River in Tri-Cities, Washington. Affordability, access to 5 major cities, and the lifestyle make Pasco one of the most attractive places to live and do business in the entire country. Whether it's a visit to downtown for authentic Mexican food, a day at the ballpark for some minor league baseball, or a boat ride along the Columbia River, Pasco has something for everyone. So why has Pasco grown by nearly 20,000 residents in just the past 10 years? And why are we projected to reach a population of close to 121,000 by 2038? Let's show you why.
The city of Pasco is part of Tri-Cities, Washington, a vibrant area in southeast Washington with a population of more than 300,000 people. The Tri-Cities is home to Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. The area encompasses 2 counties, including Benton and Franklin counties. The region's economy is anchored in research and development, technology, manufacturing, agriculture, retail, and healthcare. Major employers include Battelle, Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, Lockheed Martin, Bechtel National, CH2M Hill.
Hey, before I go further, is my screen sharing? Luis said that you guys aren't able to see it. Were you guys seeing my screens? Okay,
I could see it.
Okay, so Luis,
Yes.
I think. Okay, so Luis, I think it might be your phone. I wanted to stop. I didn't mean to stop it abruptly, but I didn't want to torture everybody if they weren't seeing anything. Okay, so perfect. Let me reshare, and I apologize about the interruption, but I just wanted to be sure if you guys were able to see it. So let me reshare my screen.
There was a little bit of delay in the view.
Okay, there's just a little bit of delay. Okay, so let me reshare this, guys, and make sure we're all set. So excuse me for that. And
Pasco is a vibrant
Are you
city
guys
of nearly
hearing that also?
80,000 people set along the shores
Okay,
of the beautiful
I'll
Columbia
keep going
River in
and quiet.
Tri-Cities,
Thanks.
Washington. Affordability, access to 5 major cities, and the lifestyle make Pasco one of the most attractive places to live and do business in the entire country. Whether it's a visit to downtown for authentic Mexican food, a day at the ballpark for some minor league baseball, or a boat ride along the Columbia River, Pasco has something for everyone. So why has Pasco grown by nearly 20,000 residents in just the past 10 years? And why are we projected to reach a population of close to 121,000 by 2038? Let's show you why.
The city of Pasco is part of Tri-Cities, Washington, a vibrant area in southeast Washington with a population of more than 300,000 people. The Tri-Cities is home to Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. The area encompasses 2 counties, including Benton and Franklin counties. The region's economy is anchored in research and development, technology, manufacturing, agriculture, retail, and healthcare. Major employers include Battelle, Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, Lockheed Martin, Bechtel National, CH2M Hill, ConAgra, Lamb Weston, Amazon, Tyson Fresh Meats, Arriva, and URS. The average household income for the Tri-Cities region has increased 30.7% since 2000. Currently, the average household income is $72,733. The Tri-Cities attracts the brightest minds in business. We have a highly educated workforce. 82.8% of the population has a high school, college, or graduate education, and there are more scientists and engineers per capita residing here than anywhere else in the nation.
all right, so I wanted to share that video with you.
Pasco.
And you could really see that the Tri-Cities in general is really vibrant. We have a highly educated workforce. And an interesting stat that I read yesterday was in the western part of Pasco, within a 5-mile radius from the west part of Pasco into Richland, the median income is right around $95,000 per household. And I think a large part of that is Hanford and sort of the stabilization and some of the more highly educated folks that that we get that live in the western part of Pasco and commute into Richland for Hanford, or places like Energy Northwest that are also large employers. So we really have a really stable economy. So I think that's one of the really positive things about the Tri-Cities. The next thing I wanted to get into, everyone, was ag. As we all know, ag is a huge part of the state of Washington. It's a huge part of our culture here in Franklin County and in Pasco and in Tri-Cities in general. We have a lot of farmers here in Franklin County and that live in Pasco. So it's really incredible. These are some really state numbers. 35,900 farms are located in Washington State. $10.6 billion in agricultural production in Washington State, and 6.7 food and ag products are exported overseas. So obviously the impact is great across our region. I wanted to share some of our top crops. Here we call ourselves the Mid-Columbia, and that really encompasses Benton, Franklin counties, Walla Walla counties in this region, where you have, in about the mid 300,000 range of folks. Apples are a huge part of this area, from Yakima out to this area. Milk, which is Washington's second largest commodity. Wheat products out on the Palouse. Potatoes are gigantic. Hay, sweet cherries, and blueberries are some of our top crops, and I think some really good opportunities for export. These are Franklin County's top crops. So these are just in the county where Pasco resides. Winter wheat, corn for grain, you have potatoes, hay again, dry beans, alfalfa, asparagus. They are so good in Franklin County. It's unbelievable. Carrots, green peas, onions, especially sweet Walla Walla onions. Those are some of the best if we have any onion fans on here. So lots of things happening in terms of crops in Franklin County. Another thing that people don't realize, Tri-Cities is also wine country. So as I mentioned, 300 days of sunshine and just unbelievable soil, and the temperature conditions that rival some places in France. We have some of the best areas to grow wine grapes. There are 200 wineries within an hour's drive from Pasco. So that's pretty incredible, not only for the economy, but for people who like to come to the Tri-Cities. We have several wineries. Prosser is just a stone's throw away, about 30 minutes from the Tri-Cities. There's 30 wineries there. So it's really incredible that we have this wine region at our disposal. So, I look at the opportunities for some of our wineries to export to Mexico and to other markets, and we have access to them right here in the Tri-Cities. Hops is a huge thing, not necessarily here in the Tri-Cities, but just up the road in Yakima. Here's a stat that I found, which is pretty incredible. 75% of the nation's hops are grown in Yakima that are exported across the world. So I know there's a lot of breweries in Mexico that are starting to come to fruition. So we've had some talks with Colima beer to perhaps come to the Tri-Cities and Pasco. So those are really that conversation is really in the inception stage, but we'd love to import some Mexican beer or export our own hops and beer, certainly. So I wanted to share this next video with you. That gives you some insight into some of the development that's happening in Pasco as well.
Hi, I'm Mike Gonzalez, Economic Development Manager at the City of Pasco. We are so excited to announce 2 1 million square foot Amazon fulfillment centers are being built in Pasco, right in this area where I'm standing in East Pasco near A Street and South Road 40 East. So what does that mean for our community? It means good paying jobs, a company that is a great community partner that offers their employees amazing benefits with growth opportunities. The fulfillment centers will be 2 of the largest in the country. Each will top just over 1 million square feet and will be located between A Street along South Road 40 East, just north of the Port of Pasco. The warehouses will house primarily larger, bulky items that will employ right around 1,500 people. Amazon will operate close to 24 hours a day, where 80% of the employees will be full-time with benefits and a 401k plan. Associates will have educational opportunities, including access to Amazon's Career Choice program, an Associate to Tech program where employees can earn a college degree or technical certificate. Incredibly, Amazon will pay most of those educational costs. We're so excited Amazon is here in Pasco. Over this next year, you'll be hearing from the city's Economic Development Department and Amazon as employment opportunities become available and the hiring process.
So that's really exciting news for us. Is Amazon announced they were coming a couple of years ago. So 2 1 million square foot fulfillment centers. It will employ more than 1,500 people. And the city of Pasco has approved 226 million in permits, which is pretty incredible when you think of that type of impact. Employee recruitment is going to start in July, and the warehouses will open in September. And the pay is going to start $18 to $23 an hour, and benefits begin on day one, and they've got those educational opportunities. So we've been working with Amazon for a few years now on this project. So we're excited that it's going to come to fruition. Obviously for some of the sales tax benefit and property tax benefit, but also the jobs that they're going to bring. It's kind of created a little bit of a scenario where, well, not a little bit, really a lot of a scenario where we have a housing crisis here in the Tri-Cities. So that's something that we at the city of Pasco are working on right now to try to get some more density in our zoning and work with some developers that work in that affordable housing space, because incredibly, we have a 1%, maybe less vacancy rate for our rental units. And if you wind up looking for a house, I mean, you put your house on the market, it's gone in a matter of days right now. And when you look at the median home price in just the past year, and beginning of 2021, it was probably right around 290, 300,000, but median home price in Tri-Cities has gone up to $400,000. Just, that's essentially a starter home. I'm talking 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe 1,500 square feet. So we're definitely working on plans, but if you are a developer of units that are a little bit more dense and have some know-withal with that affordable housing space, we'd love to hear from you. So please give me a call, because it's really critical that we work on that. And the good news is that we're working with our city council, and they just approved some more dense zoning across the city. So that was some really good news that we just got on Monday. So that's going to allow us some more flexibility in the housing space. And I'm already starting to hear from affordable developers. So if you know anybody in that space, please have them reach out to me, because it's something that it's going to be critical, especially when we have all these workers from Amazon. So here's the Amazon space. This was August of 2021, and this was January 2022. So you can see how far they've come. And again, that's getting ready to open in September. So I want to tell you about West Pasco. West Pasco is really where the growth opportunities are, especially in retail. So this is a 600 plus acre area off Road 100 and I-182. This is basically really close to Richland, probably 2-3 miles away as the crow flies. But we look at this space, there's been talks of a Costco coming into this area, as many as 7,000 units for housing, retail options. So we really look at this as a mixed use development. But again, if you know a developer, or if you know affordable housing folks, this is really the opportunity zone that you can have if you're a retail developer or somebody that's in that space. So I want to share this video with you as well.
When it comes to development, there is a lot of opportunity in Pasco. The City of Pasco recently completed our new comprehensive plan that includes smart growth initiatives, updated zoning, and a complete roadmap of how the city will grow over the next 10 years. The smart growth will help guide development of the Broadmoor area in West Pasco near Road 100. That's expected to see major retailers, thousands of new homes and residents in the area over the next 5 years. The vision for the Broadmoor area includes mixed-use developments, more than 7,000 new homes, entertainment options, and major big box retailers. Road 100, the major thoroughfare that serves the area, will see substantial widening, and Interstate 182 adjacent to the development will also see infrastructure upgrades that will create easy access for drivers from across the region. Marcus and Millichap is leading the sales and marketing efforts for the Broadmoor area. The 600-acre property is being sold and marketed by Tim Ufkus of Marcus and Millichap. For more information, contact Tim at 206-399-9337, or you can email Tim anytime. When it comes to
And I just wanted to give you a few highlights of the Broadmoor development. 671-acre development that's really going to be the epicenter for the Tri-Cities. And here's the stat that I pulled yesterday. The average household income within 5 miles of that site, $97,072, $2.4 billion. The 45-year Hanford cleanup project is really the major economic driver, and the median income for the entire Tri-Cities, again, $72,733. So there's a lot of expendable cash in that area. And again, it goes to the educational attainment. And I think the biggest part of this area, 5,000 to 7,000 residential units expected. I mean, that's certainly going to be phased in, but the economic opportunity in this area is really great. I want to share downtown Pasco with you. This is really one of my focus areas at the city of Pasco. It's a really interesting area. It's really a center of culture in the Tri-Cities, and probably the most unique place, or one of the most unique places that I consider in the Pacific Northwest. I would say about 95% of our businesses in the downtown core have some connection to Mexico. So when I visit downtown Pasco, I view it as really like a visit to Little Mexico. It's just really incredible. You can get incredible Mexican food. You can get a taste of the culture. Signs are in Spanish, and we have a lot of revitalization going on, some really big projects. I'll tee it up with, we're going through a downtown master plan that's really going to set the tone for development in the future. We've got a $36 million overpass that's happening right now that's going to connect East Pasco into downtown. And then probably my favorite thing that's going on right now is the farmers market, which June mentioned before we started, who's on this call, how much she loves the farmers market. It's just really just a unique place that we've upgraded to the tune of $6 million. So I'm going to take you through this so you guys get to know downtown a little bit, because I really think there's some economic opportunities if someone wanted to invest in buildings. It's an opportunity zone where you can invest long term. So there's a lot of different strategies you can go through. So our downtown is basically 14 blocks. This is our DPDA zone. We call it the Downtown Pasco Authority, which is our public development authority. So they were created by the city of Pasco by charter to really do economic development downtown. So they can control this zone from Bonneville to Columbia, from Tacoma to 14th. So it's a pretty compact area that they really work with businesses to promote them and to bring in events like Cinco de Mayo events. And they also work with the farmers market. 10,000 residents are within this area in downtown Pasco, and these are some of our real nice assets. City Hall on the upper left, Pasco School District has their headquarters there, our Franklin County Courthouse on the right there, then Lourdes Hospital. Sacagawea State Park is downtown, and then we have our Franklin County Museum, the big Edgar Brown Stadium. And our downtown Pasco zone is actually what they call an opportunity zone. So this was something created by the federal government a couple of years ago, that you can defer the capital gains for 10 years if you wind up investing or buying a building. So, partial abatement for 5 to 7 years, you can get 15% off those capital gains. And, it's a long-term investment strategy, and it's perfect for an area like downtown Pasco where the buildings are relatively inexpensive, and, obviously you'd have to do some work with them. But as we go through that revitalization process, we're really hoping that more people will start purchasing some of these buildings downtown and really revitalizing them. There's some other opportunity zones within Pasco. Osprey Point is a big development on the waterfront that's about to go in and be developed. the Marine Terminal, Commercial Avenue, and Heritage Industrial Park. So if you want to know anything about those, just reach out to me, and I'll be glad to tell you more about it. I want to tell you about the farmers market in Lewis Street Overpass that I was telling you about. So the farmers market, this is really a central place for us here in Pasco. It's been around since 1988, and on Saturdays and Sundays, we get hundreds of up to thousands of people that'll visit. Fresh produce. We have such a great agricultural epicenter here in Franklin and Benton counties. We'll have up to 100 vendors at times. So it's just really incredible. Everybody really likes the farmers market. I want to tee up this video and show you kind of the process that it's gone through. This is our Administrative and Community Services Director, Zach Radkai, who I interviewed about the process. Now, this was in October, and we expected it to be done in November. So it's about to be finished here in February. So you'll notice he'll say we'll be done in November because of supply chain issues and all sorts of things. It's had to be delayed, but I wanted you to get a flavor of kind of what it looks like and the development process.
Right now we're in the middle of the Peanuts Park Pasco Farmers Market project, and as you can see, it's under construction. This has been the culmination of many years of design and planning and working with a lot of our downtown partners here to bring this $6 million cornerstone project as the catalyst for the improvements for our downtown. We're very excited to see the work going on, and obviously there's steel going up. We're starting to see it take shape, and we got a couple months left, and it's going to be really excited to see this finish. It shows that there's a lot of community investment in this part of downtown. And our hope is with this project, it's going to bring festivals, it's going to bring people from all over the Tri-Cities and Southeast Washington down for the farmers market, for the Fiery Foods Festival, for arts and culture events, and really bring people that don't necessarily travel through downtown Pasco into this community to see exactly what we have to offer. And certainly, this project was not immune to any of the steel shortages, PVC shortages we've seen throughout construction, throughout the world these days during the pandemic, but we're working hard. We procured a lot of our items, and we're moving ahead steadily, so we're looking probably end of November, I would say, is a safe bet. What we're looking at is funding from all sorts of different partners. So we have federal funding through the Community Development Block Grant Program. We have a loan from the Housing and Urban Development. We also have money from the Washington State Legislature through the Department of Commerce, as well as local funding coming into the project from the city of Pasco.
So really a team effort to get this funding.
Yes.
For such a great community spot. Awesome job, Zach. Anything else you want to get out there that I might have missed?
We're just excited to see this project come about, and we're eagerly awaiting for this to open and share it with the entire community throughout the entire region.
So really incredible, and I want to show you a picture of the updated version. So this is where we're at now, and you can see it's really culturally inclusive. It says Mercado on there, which is obviously market, and Peanuts Park is what really encompasses that whole area. So we were really culturally sensitive to this area because it's so highly Hispanic. So and the feedback has been really good so far. So we're excited. It's going to open in February. So we'll have that date for you. And here's a few more mock-ups. I want to open it up for questions if anybody's got any before I get into the Lewis Street overpass. I'll be glad to take some. Luis is monitoring those, and he's sending me something through WhatsApp. If not, I'll be glad to keep going. All right, I'll take that as a cue to keep going. And unless anybody has anything
Mike,
they want.
hi, Mike. This is Juan.
Hey, Juan.
I just wanted to say and reiterate how impressive your presentation is, and to give us a perspective of the growth of the Pasco Tri-City area.
Thank
as
you.
As a Mexico Americano born and raised in Yakima County, I have been in and out of the Tri-Cities in Pasco my entire life. I remember when I was 15 years old in 1960, and my father had a trucking company, and we would drive from Sunnyside to Pasco to get to Walla Walla,
Right.
and then on to to Dayton to do the pea harvest, la cosecha del chícharo, that when you drove from Prosser to the Tri-Cities into Pasco, on both sides, there was nothing but sagebrush and desert, as you said.
Yeah.
Now you drive through there and it's heavily populated. There's orchards, there's vineyards, housing development. It's not an empty drive. And we used to cross the old Blue Bridge.
Oh yeah, it's still
It's
there.
how far back we go. That was the connector until the new beautiful suspension bridge was built. I've seen that growth. I've also, when I became an adult, one of my first professional assignments was with Washington Public Power Supply System, the famous Whoops, with the construction of 3 nuclear power plants. We only got one done. And yes, you're correct. The first nuclear bombs that were built during World War II were built in the Tri-Cities. And those are the bombs that destroyed Japan and ended World War II. So it's a great history. I'm really happy to see the growth. And also, I think it's fair to mention as I close my comment, that many of the Latinos, Mexicanos, Mexico-Americanos of the late 30s and 40s, as farm workers transitioned from farm workers to farm owners. And there are many growers that like Frank Ochoa, who own thousands and thousands of acres of potatoes and harvest potatoes and do harvesting and bring that product to Lamb Weston. I think that's fair to note that the Latinos have been a great part of this economic and agricultural growth of Washington State, Central Eastern Washington, and the Tri-City area. I'm just so pleased to see what's been happening. I've been involved in it most of my life, and I'm glad that you're there to carry the legacy forward and really bring new growth and development to the Tri-City area. I'd like to also, we could talk about that later, I'd like to see a greater connection with the Tri-Cities in Pasco and Yakima County. There has to be a greater link. And there's ways that we can bring that together.
Yeah, that sounds great, Juan. Thank you for those kind words. And I certainly think that there's opportunities between Yakima and Tri-Cities, and we should do that more. Just as I mentioned with the hops and some of those great ag products. But you're absolutely right, you know, in terms of Latinos and Hispanics who have had an impact on this area. And we're seeing the transition from field to owning farms to even there's a great winery here, Valencia Winery. And so you're kind of seeing that transition. And I think everybody's really conscious of that in Pasco, the contribution that Hispanics have made to this area. And I think that's why when you look at our farmers market and it says Mercado on it, you know, that's really a sign of respect for, you know, especially in the ag industry. So I was really happy to see that on our farmers market. So definitely looking forward to talking to you more about how we can, you know, spark some economic development. So we got some questions coming in. Let's see. Hold on one second. We've got one from Luis. Okay, Luis, what do you got for me?
Yes, Mike. Well, great presentation. I think the overview of everything that is on your trade is fantastic. You put it so well and explain it so well. The potential is there. My question that I would like to make is for those buyers in Mexico that want to either buy some of your products, ag products or any other kind of products to bring into Mexico, is there an office in your area, or is it the economic development that would be entertaining such inquiries? How, who do they need to contact for buying products from, or maybe selling products to Pasco?
That's something, honestly, I'll have to find out. I'd certainly be willing to shepherd that process. I know the USDA does a lot of things in Franklin County. I know there's agencies that represent certain ag products that are sort of the spokesperson for each. But I'd be glad to investigate and find out the best avenue for that. Because honestly, in my role, I've never really connected anybody, to a grower than to the export. So that'll be a learning process for me, but I'd be glad to figure that out, because I do feel like, especially in this environment, I typically wake up early and I listen to an ag show in the morning. That's before the news channel that I watch. So and they were talking about this very thing this morning, about products here in Washington State that can be exported to Mexico because of the holdups at the ports right now. So a lot of products aren't being able to be shipped across the ocean to Europe and to other markets. So Canada and Mexico have become even more important. So, and I think that's something that the growers really haven't thought about as much as they've had to. So I think now the timing is right for that type of economic development. So I think it's something that we need to investigate here in Pasco and Franklin County. So I'll certainly be glad to get on the ball and figure that out, Luis.
Thank you very much.
You got it. I've got some more of my presentation if people want to hang on, and it's not too much longer, but I can fly through it. The Lewis Street overpass is I wanted to get back. This is in downtown Pasco. So it's going to join 2nd Avenue to West Oregon, and it's $36 million. And it was really a conglomerate of funding sources from the state, from the feds, that the staff really worked hard, a little bit of the general fund. So I'm going to fly through that. I have a video here, but I'm not going to show it. You basically get the gist of this. And we really feel like this bridge is going to spur a lot of economic development into the city, because you've got Amazon that's going to be in the eastern part of the city. That's going to be a connection point into downtown. And we really feel like it's going to create that bridge and that circular motion that's going to give easy access to downtown. So I didn't want to spend too much time on that. The other thing I wanted to touch on in terms of downtown was our downtown master plan. So that's going to be complete in April of 2022. And this master plan is really an overview of what we ultimately want to accomplish in downtown. We're looking at zoning and land uses, urban design, doing a nice market analysis, how we're going to manage downtown. And we really did a lot of community input with the current business owners down there, because there's always that fear of gentrification, and you don't want to necessarily move businesses out that have been there. So we've really kept in good contact with them and communicated with them, and it's really been a culturally sensitive thing that we've done in terms of reaching out in Spanish and English and making sure that all our stakeholders know what's going on, and they've been a huge part of the process. So once that is done, that's really going to give a framework for what we want downtown to look like. We're going to fix the streetscapes. We're going to start with that, and then hopefully get some economic dollars and investment flowing in to the downtown area. Because again, from a cultural perspective, I mean, you're not going to find anything as unique as downtown Pasco. I wanted to finish things off with the Port of Pasco. The Port of Pasco is obviously in Pasco, and they're really big partners with the city of Pasco in terms of economic development. They brought in some big players recently, Dairygold. Dairygold is going to build a $500 million facility that's going to export and create powdered protein, some butter, milk, and we're all probably familiar with Dairygold here in the state of Washington. So that's going to be a huge economic boom here in Pasco, and they're building it at what they call their Ryman Industrial Center. So wanted to play this video that gives you a little bit more aspects on the Port of Pasco and really how they can help you economically.
The City of Pasco is working closely with our economic development partners at the Port of Pasco. The port was instrumental in securing Dairygold, who announced they will build a $500 million
Excuse me. Stop the accident.
processing plant in Pasco. The plant will make specialized protein powder and butter, which will create approximately 200 on-site jobs, as well as 1,000 support service jobs. More than half of the 400,000 square foot facility's products are expected to be exported, mostly to Pacific Rim countries. Butter produced at the facility will be marketed regionally. The facility will be built in the port's brand new Ryman Industrial Center. Ryman is a distribution and logistical center located near Highway 395 that provides quick and easy access to rail and all major highways in the Tri-Cities. Land is available right now at the Ryman Industrial Center. There's even more excitement surrounding the Port of Pasco at their Osprey Point development, where high-end waterfront condos are being planned along with a public market. Osprey Point will provide up to 1,500 jobs, more than 1,000 new homes, condos, a world-class hotel, commercial space, and a brand new amphitheater for music concerts. The Port of Pasco has teamed up with JMS Construction to develop this site into the next great destination for Eastern Washington and Oregon. The port also manages the Tri-Cities Airport. The airport is the third largest air carrier airport in the state of Washington, with national and regional airlines serving the communities of southeastern Washington and northeastern Oregon. The airport also serves as a central corporate, freight, and general aviation center. Additionally, the airport owns a thriving industrial park that supports ag, small business, warehousing and manufacturing companies, retail, and local government. The airport is proud of a brand new courtyard by Marriott just outside the gates. The airport also leases 700 acres of farm ground. The Tri-Cities Airport is currently designated a small hub with 437,000 enplanements in 2019 and 191,000 enplanements in 2020. In 2021, the airport has seen significant increases in activity in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. For more information on the Port of Pasco, contact Stephen McFadden at 509-948-3816 or email smcfadden@portofpasco.org.